How Arizona Cardinals play caller, offensive coordinator Drew Petzing believes the team can tweak the offense, if at all, for the potential return for Kyler Murray. And the team works out a trio of quarterbacks, Johnny Venerable.
Yeah, it's gross charts with Johnny and Bo. Plus, we talked the latest. Will the Cardinals make a trade? PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends, our dear friends. It's Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier, #1 in the world, Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe, friends. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He is Bo Brack in Studio K. Noah Man behind the mic. Coordinator Wednesday. PHNX Cardinals like this video. Bo, how we living?
We're living well. So are the supporters out there. I see you, Brian P. How about Jack Schaff, of course, Ryan Jackson, or Steven Jackson, sorry, Ryan Walker out there. Everybody throwing up their supporter emojis in the chat. Of course, you can sign up and do that for the low price of $5 a month, leading the All-City charge as far as supporters across the network. This episode of PHNX Cardinals, as always, brought to you by your friends over at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the code PHNX365. Deposit $10. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets over at Bet365. PHNX 365. Cash in right now.
Love this. Another week, more Drew Petzing slop in the chat via Andrew. There are some Drew Petzing takes on the comments today, and thankfully we were expecting it. Yeah, come get your coach speak, as you're calling it, some slop. Slop it up, baby. We're in the season of slop with this team. That's what happens when you're 2-5 and suddenly irrelevant, and you have a 12% chance to make the playoffs. Here's the times are tough. Here's the deal. Drew Petzing spoke to the media, as did Nick Rallis, and Nick is not without blame. We're going to get into all that, but Bo, I want to get like a pulse of the room here, because we were chatting off air, and I told you, I'm just kind of over it. I'm over Drew talking about Marv, and I get he's asked these questions. I'm over Drew making these comments that we hear every week. It's like, I thought the point of these press conferences, which I love the idea initially, when Gannon said, hey, my coordinators are going to be made available. It's a great idea. Proactive. Guys, he wants to be future head coaches in this league. I do think we've established now probably doing more harm than good at this point, certainly with Drew Petzing.
Yeah, but you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you take the coordinators off of their press conference days, people are going to say they're not facing the music. They're not having to answer and be held accountable, right? Even though they give you simple coach speak answers that infuriate, the majority of the fan base. It's, and I was telling you off air, it's like, if you're so sick of it, you don't have to watch any of the clips that I post on PHNX_Cardinals or my own
me
account,
taking shots at Bo.
the team puts up, as far as, the press conferences that you can view in live most of the time. And some people report watching the press conferences from the comfort of their own home. Good for them. But look, sometimes you do get a little bit of nugget about what's going on. Like, you really have to sift through a lot. But for the most part, you're not going to hear anything that you're going to like when your team has lost 5 straight. There's nothing that somebody's going to say that's going to say, well, that makes a lot of sense, and I feel better now because of it.
I do think there is some clarity that they could provide, because we've seen both JG and now Petzing double down. Your clip of the day, we all know what it was. We led our show with it. Is that Drew Petzing's very adamant. The offense has been the same for Kyler and Jacoby. It's the same thing. We're watching the same product for the better part of 7 weeks. when in all actuality, we know that's not the case. How do we know that? Well, in 5 games with Kyler Murray in Drew Petzing's offense, they were average to below average. And with Jacoby Brissett the last 2 weeks and Drew Petzing's offense, they had the best third down conversion rate in the NFL. They were 10th in yards per game, 12th in yards points per game, and then passing yards per game. They went from 30th to 5th, but it's the same. Everything's the same. There's no different. Every game's the same. It's like people have access to this kind of information, Drew. And like, I get where you're like, hey, we don't want to change a ton, but I don't think there's anything wrong with acknowledging, hey, one guy has a specific skill set, so we try to lean into what he does well. Mm-hmm. And then on the flip side, Jacoby hang in the pocket, throwing, frozen ropes up and down the field for 2 weeks. I don't know. It just, to me, it just feels a little disingenuous. Like, bro, we all watch the game.
Well, let's try an exercise then. Okay. Let's shave off the unbelievable flow you have on top of your head.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And we'll have Baldy John here, Baldy John Petzing, and we'll put you in front of the mic as you are, right?
Yeah.
And we'll set you up in front of the firing squad, and we'll ask you, is this a different offense that you're running for Jacoby Brissett than Kyler Murray?
I think anytime when you've got, special players at the quarterback position, you always want to try to highlight what they do well. And, I'm not naive to sit here and say, like, this is a one size fits all. I'm a player's coach first and foremost. I want to be able to put my players in the best position to succeed. So, yeah, absolutely. There are going to be different circumstances. We're not good enough offensively for me to sit here and say, like, my scheme over everything. So, of course, the schemes are going to be different. I'm going to talk to my players, up and down the roster offensively and be able to emulate exactly what they want to do. So, yeah, you could definitely say that we're going to be changing things up week to week.
So, are you saying that? Well done. Very well done. But then my quick follow-up is like, So you're saying that Jacoby does things better than Kyler Murray?
I think there's just a difference. Jacoby's a different kind of quarterback than Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray's a one-on-one quarterback. He's maybe the best mobile quarterback of all time. So we try to allow him to use his legs, whereas Jacoby is a more traditional pocket passer. So you're going to be able to see him, do some different things from the landscape of the pocket. And so, I don't want to use the word better. I think different. And I think you can see that in the play calls that we've made.
Do you think that Kyler Murray is maybe is he handicapped a little bit as far as what he can do in the passing game compared to what Jacoby Brissett is? Because Jacoby's been very successful.
I would think anytime a guy is the offensive rookie of the year, 2-time Pro Bowler, I wouldn't be doing my job if I said that Kyler Murray is limiting anything I do. I look in the mirror at the end of the day and be able to emphasize the point to our team, our coaching staff, and most importantly, our fans, like, hey, guys, if we're not producing, it's a me problem, because 32 out of 32 teams would love to have Kyler Murray in their quarterback room. So it's up to me to be able to put him in those positions to succeed. And the offense is a byproduct of that. See, that's how it's done.
You even surprised me in this impromptu little back and forth press availability with Johnny Petzing. Unbelievable.
Come on, man. You're just giving it. It's just right there. But instead, it's like, nope, it's exactly the same.
Well, let's just take a look. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. We had Drew Petzing, the answer that Johnny was talking about when we asked him about Kyler Murray.
The things that you've seen him do over his, really over 7 years of his career, just in terms of the playmaking ability, the arm talent, the ability to make plays off schedule, so many things that he does well, I think, make us dynamic. Yeah, absolutely. And there's things that guys have done well, that we've done well as an offense, that you're going to continue to emphasize. I know we've talked about it in here. I don't think the offense is going to change one way or the other dramatically.
It's not much different.
Same offense, same guy, same player. And to be fair, that's not exactly what he said, but It's the same. It's the same offense. It's the same offense.
Yeah. Look, I would just recommend to you maybe take a couple press conferences off, especially after losses.
Listen,
you're not gonna learn anything.
I wouldn't be doing my job.
I'll tell you if you need to do an end at anything. If there's any pertinent information from the press conferences from Drew Petzing going forward. How about
Brian
that?
thinks that we rehearsed that. That was 100% on the spot.
No, that was on the fly. There was nothing. There was no prep for that. That was good.
We can help you, Drew.
I can't even look at you right now. That was so impressive.
We want to help you, man. Listen, and I think that's where the disconnect is, because there is gotcha media. There's gotcha media in this market. We're not, Bo and I are so pro Cardinals, it hurts, right? We didn't come from Timbuktu. We didn't come from the East Coast to come here because we've got broadcasting degrees. And it's like, okay, now you're going to cover the Cardinals. Lifelong fan of this franchise. I want good things for this fan base. You just, it hurts me because, like, you do a lot of damage on Sundays right now. Okay. But let's try to mitigate that and put out some fires Monday through Saturday. And it's like, not doing that either. Not helping ourselves right now. I don't know. Yeah, that's right, Jonathan. Help me help you. I want to be able to emphasize a point with you every week that's just like, guys, I know we took it on the chin this week. Let me give you a little insight into what we were thinking.
Right. I think our standpoint is from an information gathering part, so we can relate to the fan base who we're right there in lockstep with what's going on.
Yeah.
Try to figure out what happened, what went wrong, without, there's a way to do it without throwing people under the bus, whether it's play callers or, players that may have screwed up. But yeah, I mean, it's not from, I'm going to set him up and I'm going to get him once he gives the wrong answer. That is, I think, far from it. I think that's far from, most of the people in that press room, if not, all of them. Like I know most of the, work every day with everybody there, and it doesn't seem like anybody has that sort of approach.
Like, wouldn't it just be really refreshing to hear Drew come out and say, like, hey, I blew it with the protection schemes from Micah Parsons. I let Micah Parsons have a get-right game, and I got to be better. I mean, the Cardinals have been a below-average red zone team for 2 years. Have we ever heard him once talk about, like, we got to be better in the red zone? We're going to try some new stuff out. What we're doing is not working. The difficult point of this right now is, and I'll include JG in this as well, is like the messaging is consistent. It's remained the same, but the results now aren't there. And it's like, at some point, for us to get behind you, there has to be some belief here externally, beyond just your locker room, that, like, hey, we're making a conscious effort to change. We're making a conscious effort to be different. And if you're sitting there and you're saying that the same offense that Kyler Murray ran for 5 weeks is the same one that Jacoby Brissett just ran, and it's the exact same, and there was no drop-off in statistics, nothing, then what are we doing here? Like, everyone knows that's not true. We all watched it. Now, I'm sympathetic to navigating a locker room and egos and clicks, right? And this is Kyler's team first and foremost. And I happen to think, like, Kyler should play, so that I don't think what Jacoby was doing was necessarily sustainable. Maybe I'm wrong. And I think the Cardinals, if you're trying to catch lightning in a bottle, you're better off doing that with Kyler Murray. But I questioned this yesterday, and I'll double down on it now. I don't know if they have the offensive acumen in that coaching room right now to be able to say, like, okay, Kyler struggles here, not here. Let's double down on this. Let's go back to this. Let's pull video from 2020, 2021. Why did this work so well? It feels like a square peg in a round hole with these guys.
It does. Everything seems hard, right? I mean, as far as offensively goes, and the idea of them putting it together this upcoming week, which just happens to be the most pivotal to avoid going 2-6 and putting more dirt on the 2025 season, but also the ability to, have a long string of success, which is necessary to scratch and claw back into this thing offensively. Like, to say, like, oh, they're going to be able to have, 4 to 5 weeks in a row here where they can really be right and humming offensively, because, like, are they going to be able to, make the proper adjustments to get a win now and then readjust as the league, adjusts to them and plays that game of chess? Like, what gives you the confidence that they can do it? Because you haven't seen it consistently, or even like on a sample size from this organization to make those adjustments, whether it's, from a play calling standpoint to, the players executing standpoint. Nothing looks easy. Everything looks against the grain. So, like, I understand that skepticism, no doubt about it. Like, as far as maybe it's just an ill thought out easy way to simplify what your answers are going to be when the focus needs to be just winning football games, because that's going to be the ultimate cure-all for this. The ultimate cure-all and fix for this, the flex tape for the god-awful, huge gaping hole that is the 2025 season that is just taking on water. It's hemorrhaging water onto the team, and it's sinking to the bottom of the ocean, is that they're not going to be able to say anything during in the midst of a 5-game losing streak that somebody's going to want to hear. So why not just keep it short, simple? Who cares what people think, and just focus on what the main thing is, and that's finding a way to finish a game and win a game.
Yeah, and I'm sure Gannon's preaching that in coaching meetings. Like, guys, there's nothing we can do that can help us with the media. Let's keep it as basic and generic as possible. But you're also putting yourself in a position where kind of stroking the fire from a standpoint of like, you got to give us something. You got to give us a little bit here. Like, Bo and I were talking off air. They didn't change in terms of their depth chart one GD thing from an offensive standpoint from the last game to this game, meaning Jonah Williams is still the starting right tackle. Mm-hmm. So, like, the message, if you're JG, that you're sending directly or indirectly to this fan base is, we're good with Drew and how he opted to scheme Micah Parsons, and we're good with Jonah Williams' performance. That's the messaging. Now, they could, of course, change that on game day, and they love to do their semantics and that kind of thing. I just send a message to your fan base that, like, hey, that's not going to be good enough. Right. We're benching Jonah Williams. He was atrocious the last 2 weeks against Indianapolis and subsequently against the Green Bay Packers. Won't even do that. It's like, it's pretty wild. Outside of the running back room, you got the same flipping players for the entire season. You got your franchise quarterbacks ready to play on Monday Night Football. All players, healthy roster, yet you're 2-5. And it's like, no, we actually think with the same people involved that it's just going to magically turn around. Listen, drinking the Kool-Aid, June and July, now we got to see it with our eyes, because right now I'm expecting Jonah Williams to continue to be bad because he's been bad all year.
Well, and people appreciate, especially when times get tough, you just being shot straight, being told the truth.
And that's the biggest thing.
That is the biggest thing, because especially when you have two, working eyes and you watch the game and then you hear the press conference and you say, that's not true. That's disingenuous. That's hyperbole. That's not, anywhere doesn't match up. It doesn't pass the eye test. So yeah, if there was some sort of, just transparency from this organization, which would be out of character, I think it would be welcome. It wouldn't help overall. Like, people would still be disappointed, but it would do them a little bit of good to do that.
I just think we've reached a point here. We're in no man's land right now with this team and this franchise, where conceivably everybody has a chance to save their job, remain employed, and as a result of these next 10 games, they could also be completely gutted from the studs down in terms of a coaching staff, scouts, GMs, quarterback. Like, it could be a complete reset. It's not a rebuild, because I think, I think Cardinals have a playoff capable roster in a playoff landscape where I think the Niners are going to win about 9 games and get the 7th seed. Like, that was there for the Cardinals to take. And if they don't take care of business and win 7 out of their next 10, okay, whose fault is that? I don't think it's a talent. While they're not an upper echelon team, clearly, I don't think it's a talent problem.
Yeah, there's building blocks here. You've got a really good starting left tackle. You've got Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. and you've got guys on the defensive side.
3 really high-end corners.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That you make some tweaks, you add some glue guys in the middle, maybe another impact maker, and then you're really cooking. So,
but here's the question for you though, is that, and we asked this a lot, when Steve Wilkes was here, and then Cliff Kingsbury. Do they have the right people involved to get these talented young players to the next level where they can become, the alphas of the NFL? Right. And I think I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt defensively. I don't know if that's the case now, and certainly offensively. man, like I think you can really question if any receiver can succeed in this offensive scheme, if any quarterback can succeed with this coaching staff. That would be the major questions I have right now.
Right. And look, let's try to answer that. Plus some more takeaways from the facility and some gross charts coming up next here at PHNX Cardinals.
I'll tell you what's gross is my betting history the last couple of weeks. I'm hoping to get back on track this Sunday and, of course, Monday for Monday Night Football. And I'm going to do it with our friends at Bet365. Again, Bet365, never ordinary. It's going to take care of you this entire football season. College and pro alike, they're doing the early payout offer. You're getting paid out if the team that you wagered on goes up by 17 points or more. You're done. It's a done deal. Collect that cash. And speaking of cash, Bet365 is going to hook up new customers right now with $200 in bonus bets. Win or lose by betting just $5. That's $200 in bonus bets. You got to place a $5 bet after a $10 deposit. And again, those bonus bets can be used on spreads, player props, totals, futures, whatever the moment. It's always ordinary. Never ordinary, with Bet365. You got to be 21 years and older, physically located here in the great state of Arizona. If you were someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov, Bo, for more info.
After getting a serious accident, injuries maybe occurred, you, of course, have to do your research and look no further than the husband and wife law team. Serious injury, wrongful death, they specialize in it. There's nobody better in the Valley. They built their Phoenix firm around one thing, and that's you, their client. Check out Mark and Alexis. They've raised 8 kids right here in the Valley. They treat every client like family. Their team brings hundreds of years of combined trial experience. They know what they're doing when they're in front of a judge, when they're in front of a jury. Multiple certified specialists in injury and wrongful death. Less than 1% of lawyers in Arizona can say that. But Alexis and Mark, they absolutely can. The husband and wife law team, check them out right now, 602-783-8841. That's 602-783-8841. Husbandandwifelawteam.com. If you've been in a serious injury, give them a call right now, because when it comes to your future, you deserve a team that truly is on your side. That's the husband and wife law team. Check them out, husbandandwifelawteam.com, 602-783-8841.
Everybody hit that like button, subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. We're talking Cards coordinators, both under fire right now. Anything else notable from one Drew Petzing, Bo, ahead of Monday Night Football?
Well, you said it. You don't want to hear anything of Petzing talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, we've got that. You want to hear that?
Love to.
Okay, here we go.
I think, and we've talked about it a lot, just the day-to-day is, to me, where you notice it the most. Like, just the way that he prepares during the week, the way that he talks about the game, how he is in the building, how he is in the meeting room. I think so many of those things show up, and it's those little things, to me, that really show you that. I mean, I think you see the talent, the physicality, the size, the movement skills. I think that's always been the case to some extent, and I think people saw that throughout his career up to this point. So, I don't know if that's maybe what you're kind of getting at.
It's like, would you like another helping, Johnny, of stuffing? You've already had more than enough. No, I'm good.
I mean, like, listen, the day we're done talking about Marv will be a good day because it's being asked, because people are like, why is he being underutilized? Like, let's just get to it. Gross charts. We've got a gross chart. Marv has unfortunately been a part of a group of players this year that has like the least catchable ball in the NFL. Do we have that one, Noah? Maybe we don't. Yeah, here it is. Catchable versus uncatchable yards or footballs per game. Marvin Harrison Jr. Is in the uncatchable XFP per game.
Mm-hmm.
Here on gross charts. This is from our friends at Data. He is down there with the likes of Travis Hunter, Jalen Waddle, Stephon Diggs, Quentin Johnston. So again, then you look on the far right-hand side and you look at the guys that are being consistently fed the ball. The tough part about Marv is you look like those are footballs that are coming at a reduced rate.
Mm-hmm.
The catchable volume is where you want to be on the far right-hand side with the likes of Jamar Chase and Puka Nacua and Amon-Ra and Jackson Smith and Jigba. So, like, even when he's getting his targets, like good targets, and that was the argument last year Whereas like we had people come on the show, smarter people than us, and would basically say like it was like playing Madden on all Madden. It was like playing the game on all Madden as an X receiver because his route tree was so limited, and then what he was being asked to do. Whereas like there's a reason when you watch guys like, you know, Amon-Ra and Puka Nacua that are part of this offensive infrastructure, it's just like, what do we need to do to get the ball to them in space? Until Marvin Harrison Jr. is prioritized by Drew Petzing, and by prioritize, it's like 6, 7, 8 targets without even thinking. We're going to continue. These questions are going to continue to come, and I'm ready to concede. Like, I don't know if it will ever work with Drew Petzing and Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. would do some good. It would have a different coordinator calling plays for him and just a fresh set of eyes. I think this, of all the relationships that's run its course, this one to me feels like it has run its course.
Right.
That the games that we're waiting and hoping to see may not transpire with Drew and Marvin together. And I'm certainly not in the business of throwing away the 4th overall pick after 2 years of, you know, underutilized football.
Yeah, and I may be wrong, like looking at that chart, but it seems to me that A.J. Brown's just got a little bit worse, right? He's getting a few more uncatchable balls, uncatchable targets from Jalen Hurts there, but looks like he's getting more opportunities. They're about the same. But I didn't do very good in math as far as reading these charts. I'm going to have to brush off the dust off my old TI-83.
Mm-hmm.
You also have to keep in consideration here a couple times where the Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. just weren't on the same page.
Right.
And those become very uncatchable footballs. There's a lot of footballs hitting the turf with too much space between where the quarterback threw it and where Marvin Harrison Jr. was. So, I mean, I'm sure that doesn't help, but I think the biggest issue that we continue to run into for Marvin Harrison Jr. is opportunity, targets.
Right.
He goes from having, 10 targets back to having, 5 to 6 targets per game. And that's just not going to get him up to speed and in rhythm like you want him to see him, each and every game. So that's my biggest issue. And I don't think that's why why we're using this as an example, the uncatchable versus the catchable. It's just a sheer lack of volume.
You drafted him to be like this dominant player for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of it is like the same argument we make about Kyler Murray, where it's like, they just feel like a piece in the machine, in the cog of what the Cardinals want to do offensively. And it's like, never in a game should Amari DiMercato or Bam Knight have more touches in space than Marvin Harrison Jr. Yet there are a lot of times where it's just like, hey, the second or third back has more touches. The second tight end, Elijah Higgins, has the same amount of targets as Marvin Harrison Jr.
Right.
It's just like, at the end of the day, like, you're not a good enough infrastructure or play caller for that to work for you. Like, you're not good enough to be able to roll out guys that are B and C level players and score 30 points. How do you get to that next level offensively? You have to force feed the ball to this is a players league,
right?
Even more so than college football. It's like, guess what the Packers did last week when they needed a play? It's like Micah Parsons on defense, Jordan Love making plays with his legs, Tucker Kraft, Matthew Golden, like getting their players the football when on 4th and 2. I mean, they abuse the Cardinals with Tucker Kraft. And yeah, the Cardinals can do that with Trey McBride. But guess what? You have what we think are 2 premier players offensively.
Right.
It's frustrating, but I don't know what more can be. We're beating a dead horse. And I honestly, I expect a new play caller at minimum come January. The number one attribute of your next play caller has to be a quarterback, wide receiver friendly offense. We have the tools. We have the infrastructure. They could be in line for a top quarterback. Make all that work, because at that point you would hope, if JG's still here, we have the defense. We're going to take care of that. This just looks too hard. Whatever you thought you were going to have, and we're going to get to the 3rd round of last year, but it perfectly encapsulates the Cardinals' failed mission of what this offense was supposed to be.
Right.
It's already been proven to me that he can't adjust on the fly. when Marv and Kyler are neutered to some extent, that tells me everything I need to know.
Yeah. Saw another one that didn't make our gross charts, but it was not flattering, was as far as where the Cardinals rank the average down in distance or distance on third down.
Yeah.
They're firmly at 3rd and 7 and about a half. And that means that they're not doing anything. Obviously, the run game is falling at the wayside. It's bad. They're not getting yards on first down, usually a run situation, and they're not getting enough on second down. So they're facing a lot, like on average, 3rd and long. And it's like Jacoby Brissett was able to overcome a bunch of 3rd and longs, more so than, with Kyler Murray in there. But like, how can you not set up maybe some, like that means not only is your run game suck, but also your passing game at the line of scrimmage. Like, why does it still exist? Why is it behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage? You've got to be making more plays. I'm not saying 20 yards downfield. You got to set yourself up for more 3rd and manageable just to be a successful offense. He's not making those adjustments. And it's like, this offense couldn't stand to really face any adversity. It was like they were tripling down on it. It was like, we're going to go back with the coordinator. It's going to be Kyler. It's going to be Marv, Trey McBride, and James Conner. It's going to be this iteration of the offense, and we're going to lean into chemistry and continuity. But then once the season opened up and they couldn't run the ball, it was like they were dead on arrival with that being the case. And it took them like 4 games to adjust. And then it's like the second half of the Seattle game, first half of Tennessee. Then they revert back to their old ways. And then Jacoby gets the 2 pass-heavy games. And it was just like, these guys have to be banged over the head with it. Like, you're right. Like, there has to be this ability to adapt on the fly a lot better.
It's like we're touting like the last 2 games that they played as some like offensive like breakout. I mean, they averaged 25 points per game. It's like, hooray, let's throw a parade.
Yeah.
They scored 23 points last week. I mean, it's just like it looked better because we're all living in this nightmare world where it's like it's a struggle to get past 20 points. I'm sorry. It's just you're not doing a good enough job. There are plenty of coaches, executive, like name me a flipping skill player for the New England Patriots. That's just a wasteland. Hunter Henry with his walker. I couldn't name one. Yeah, Stephon Diggs is 100 years old. It's like making it work. I say what you want about what's his name, fraud, a head coach that now is back as an OC. What was that guy's name?
McDaniels?
Yeah. Say what you want about McDaniels, pressing all the right buttons. It's like they were like, we're going to take a chance on McDaniels.
Yeah.
Mike McDonald's like, hey, our offense sucked last year. We won 10 games. You're fired. Get out. Hey, Gino, take a walk. We're trading you. Getting a new quarterback in here. We're trading away DK Metcalf. We're going to spam Jackson Smith and Jigba the football. We're going to draft some young players, get them acclimated. It's like Cardinals are like, we're good. We saw an offense that really was the linchpin for the team going 2-5 down the stretch of last year. And the team was like, give me more of that. I want more of that, please. And they picked up right where they're exactly the same as last year. They picked up right where they left off, except for the fact they can't run the football now that Clayton Adams is gone. I mean, it just... They like deep down, like I believe that Gannon knows that he made a mistake, that mistakes were made in the offseason. But I also believe, and we've talked about this, you're firing Drew yesterday, today, or tomorrow. It's like you're not making it better right now. So your only hope is, can Drew figure it out on the fly? I think we all have our reservations about that.
What makes Clayton Adams such a good offensive line coach in the trenches? Nick Rallis answers that, plus an update on Walter, Nolen, and more gross charts all coming up next. PHNX Cardinals.
I'll tell you what's not gross. Going to Circle K and maxing out on all of their promotions. Hello, promotions right now with the Inner Circle, the app for the elites. But guess what? It's a free membership program. So easy to download, get enrolled. Use your phone number, bada bing, bada boom. You're good to go on all the Circle K deals, including 79-cent Polar Pop, $1 Froster. Get out of town. 3 for $5 Gatorade, 28 ounces. How about that? That's unbelievable. 3 for $5 on a Gatorade. So you're basically paying less than $2 per. All that and more. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Again, terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details.
Circle K is elite. So is Gila River Resorts and Casinos. There are 4 Valley locations. get yourself over to one of them. How about Wild Horse Pass, our personal fave? Lone Butte, Vequeva, Santan Mountain. Experience the best the Valley has to offer. No longer do you have to hit the road, drive 4.5, 5 hours to Vegas to get the true casino experience with the shows, the slots, with the games, the sports books. It's all right here at their Feller Valley locations. Go big or go home, a big winner. Upscale, approachable, casual, and classy fine dining, just to also hitting up the bar. Get yourself a cold one at all their locations, 4,500 slots, live table games. Catch all the action at any of the sports books. It was with an unprecedented level of entertainment, excitement that you're not going to find anywhere else here in the desert. We know they've set the bar high, and we love it each and every time we stop by. Check it out for this second to next away game. That's going to be the Seattle Seahawks when the Cardinals are on the road. And we've got a watch party going down at Wild Horse Path. Go check it out. You do you. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathila.com for all the details.
Hit that like button. Get us to, how about 500 likes here on a football Wednesday? And listen, I've been a little negative. I thought I was going to be refreshed after the bye. I felt pretty good on Monday.
Yeah.
I'm in a bad mood. I watch all these teams, and they're in on these players, and the trade deadline's coming up, and it's like, we were robbed of that. Now, the Cardinals could very well still make a trade, but can't believe we're here. Like, it is shocking to me. You know, I saw something that said the Cardinals had a 12% chance to make the playoffs. ESPN's got them at 4.8. And it's just like, this season, I feel like it's barely gotten started.
Right.
We're
10 weeks left. 10 more games.
We're not even halfway done. And it's like, hey, Cardinals, you're dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, Kyler Murray's missed 2 games. Like, he's played majority of the games. You've had Marv. It'd be one thing like Trey McBride, God forbid, knock on wood, is out. And Josh Sweat's injured and Buddha's gone. And it's just like, nope, you've actually had all your players for the most part. You've had a really easy schedule. Okay. You just haven't done diddly with it. Yeah, that's about as depressing as it gets for a Cardinal fan.
Yeah, you lost to a Niners team that was trying to give you a win. You lost to the Titans team that you have you have no excuse for losing that football game.
Yeah.
I mean, you win those 2 football games. You still haven't beaten anybody that,
But you're alive.
Right. But you haven't beaten anybody as far as, over 500 team. You still haven't proven that you have the ability to do that. But you stumbled too many times against teams that were great opportunities for dubs. Like, this was supposed to be the easy part of the schedule, and for them to fall tremendously short, that's what's the most devastating of all of this. And where I think, the majority of the people who have checked out, that's why they've decided. It's like, hey, I expected, this team to be in year 3 to be contending for a playoff spot, and they did the furthest thing from it. And they showed that they couldn't even beat teams that they should handle easily.
And you've also stripped people of joy of like, hey, the exciting players that you drafted that we were sold on, it's over my left shoulder. It's like, you've stripped us of like even enjoying that. Like, you had peak Larry Fitzgerald for a lot of lean years, and the Cardinals marketed him like crazy for good reason. It's like, it's like a twofold. It's like, you're losing, and we also don't trust you right now with a lot of young talent on this team. I mean, it's a really, really difficult place for them. And I was hopeful this week that they would come back, and I would imagine they're enthused and they're excited to play on national TV. I would have loved to have seen a major personnel shift to signify like, hey, status quo isn't good enough. But nope, same thing. Offensively and defensively, we're in keep rolling with the same guys that have gotten us 2 and 5.
It's what we have on the thumbnail. It's the status quo. Underperform, grossly underperform, and all remains right. Like, everything's good. It's the meme. It's the dog in the house that's on fire. Like, everything's okay.
And doesn't it bother you too? Like, we know Jonathan Gannon pretty well. I have a ton of respect for JG as a coach, as a person, and he has told us many times. He's like, we have not, because we'll talk about his home record. We're talking about like in the offseason.
Right.
The good mojo he had, and he was quick to always say, like, I don't have a winning record yet. We don't have a winning product yet. That's the goal. That's the goal. And it's like, now they're the farthest thing from that. And it's like, we got the right people in here.
Yeah.
And do you? I don't know if you, I don't think you do.
I don't know how I botched that. You're right, Steven. This is fine. This is fine. Meme. That's what it is. It's our life right now. It's the organization. The house is on fire, and this is fine. And the only way you're going to get kind of any kind of buy back in is by winning on Monday night, where they're 2.5-point dogs. They're on the road, and they're going up against an offense that are they going to be able to keep pace with? People are skeptical that they can't.
I'm going to tell you right now, it is such a measuring stick for this franchise on both sides of the ball for Monday. We know why offensively, because they're opting to go back to Kyler, and we've talked about that for 40 minutes, and the pressure that's on them to produce against this Dallas defense. But the Cardinals defense, as we get into Nick Rallis now, you have all of your, like Walter Nolen's going to play on Monday night. Like there's a good chance Garrett Williams plays. You have all your players. You've had 15 days off.
Right.
You can't look bad on Monday Night Football. Like Dallas's offense is good. I mean, they were mostly shut down by the Broncos. Like they've been shut down before. You told me Dak throws bad picks every other week. Like,
yeah,
you need to have a convincing performance defensively. That will be the quickest, because everybody's already has this preconceived notion that the offense is dead on arrival. The defense and the points given up quarters 1 through 3 is a stark difference in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
If you come into Arlington, Texas on Monday night and you just lay an egg defensively again, and you're getting run up at Devontae Williams and Clayton Adams owns you, that it will be impossible for me to defend Gannon on the postgame show. They won't be able to do it.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we're taking all this time. We're working OT. We're not taking our time off in the bye week, and we're self-scouting and taking a look at where we fell short. Talked to Nick Rallis today. He talked about that fourth quarter defense, and this was what he had to say.
Yeah, whether or not I found the answers, we'll see. But that's definitely something that we looked at, is how can we close out games better. And, I thought JG even did it from a holistic team perspective. Did a good job the other day of talking through, final parts of the game are very situationally driven, and how can we close those games out.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, those of us watching, like, they're just not very aggressive in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They're very much playing like, let's play not to lose. We're going to play off man, soft zone, and we're not winning with 4. Like,
right.
you're not winning with 4 because you haven't had Darius and Walter Nolen, and Calais is 100. Like, your defensive tackle group is tired.
Right.
And then your edge rushers aren't getting home. And so a lot of us are sitting there saying, okay, well, yeah, you don't have Micah Parsons. Send somebody, and they don't like to blitz. And so the alternative is, well, we're not going to give up the big play, but here's what we are going to do. We're going to get picked apart by Cam Ward at the end of games, and Mac Jones and Jordan Love and Danny Dimes, where it's like, it's not going to matter. What's the difference between an 80-yard bomb and 10 plays for 8 yards? Like, it's the same thing.
It wears you down, though. I mean, more
right.
So you almost like wouldn't mind giving up the bomb.
Sure.
But you think about the last 2 losses to Indy in Green Bay. Like, Green Bay was going to kick the field goal. They called the timeout and realized that they had the Cardinals defense on the ropes. It's like, not only did they give up, go ahead scores, they were both touchdowns. So like this defense where you bend, don't break, you broke both times. And then you put your offense in a position where they're backed in the corner, and their only option is they have to go score a touchdown because you're down 4 points. It's like you're just putting yourself in like the absolute worst situation to lose football games. Like, you're leading, you're going in the last 3 games, leading by 7 points or more in the fourth quarter, and you lose those games. In the last 2 games, you've lost by 8 points combined because each team scored a touchdown to put themselves up 4. And then you got to send out your backup quarterback out there to go down and score a touchdown, in the final minutes. It's just, that's no way to make a living. Like, you've got to be able to find a way off the field, whether it's to, force a punt, get a turnover, or at the very least, force a field goal. And they haven't been able to do that.
No. There's a stoicness to this whole thing. There's a complacency, and it comes across in their pressers and now their play. Let's take a look at our other gross chart for today. And this is the grossest of the gross. It emphasizes quarter defensive scoring allowed. If you can see there on the screen, Cardinals have given up. They're +6, +4, and +7 the first 3 quarters. They are -9 in point differential for the season. One of the worst numbers in the NFL. And to me, I look at that and it's just like your team gets tight.
Right.
Like, look at the Niners. They come out on script +16 and they finish strong. Like, look at the coaching adjustments done by the great teams in the fourth quarter. The Lions +26, the Bills +26. I mean, Carolina, give them credit. They're terrible to start games. Maybe that's a lot of garbage time points, but like Rams just consistently kicking your ass for 4 quarters. Washington eking out a couple games at the end. Like, Cardinals is the complete. Seattle just boat races you early and then they pack it in.
Right.
The Cardinals are literally like, we are trying to hang on for dear life and play. We're playing not to lose instead of trying to win the game. Yeah. And it's been evident watching them.
Yeah. You look at all these numbers and you see like this Cardinals team and they're playing tight all the way into the fourth quarter. It's like they're a team that is in the plus, in the green, in 3 of the first 4 quarters, and that like most of the company that they would keep are all over 500 teams. Like because it's such a crucial, falling apart in the fourth quarter that they can't even like keep themselves above water right now. Like you see teams like the Browns are horrendously bad, the Bengals horrendously bad, the Cowboys, the Jets. Like these are teams that are struggling. The Giants, the Saints, they're all struggling. They lose 3 out of the 4 quarters every game, and it usually trends towards a loss. Where the Cardinals, like they should be in better company, but they're not because their downfall is at the worst possible time.
Well, and it's like we all expected those teams to be bad. Like the Jets were a terrible team before the season. The Giants, all the Raiders. Most people are like, those teams are going to be bad. The Cardinals, you could not get plus money on them to go over 8-5. The Vegas thought this was a winning team this year. So again, it comes back to like what adjustments are not being made in the fourth quarter. Why aren't your players motivated to play better when the game's on the line? We're going to come back right around the corner, and we're going to dive into the 2024 third round, which has been making its way on the Twitter streets.
Okay.
And why it is very much like a damning indictment of where this franchise stands and what they tried to hang their hat on. That and your super chats are coming up. It's PHNX Cardinals. I'll tell you what I'm fired up about. Cardinals maybe let me down, but I'm never let down with our friends at Factor Meals. I'm going to tell you what, so fired up when I heard, Bo, that Factor was back in the fold because they're a major factor in my waistline and in my eating habits. Because I'm going to tell you right now, they have the best variety, the best meals that can support your wellness goals, your weight loss goals, more choices for better nutrition. That's why 97% of their customers say, and I'm one of them, that Factor helped them live a better lifestyle. I ate Factor last night, infinitely felt better. Didn't feel processed, gross, put it in a microwave. It's real food. It's real food made by top-of-the-line chefs. And again, they can tailor it to anything you need. They've got pre-prep, dietitian-approved meals, comforting, delicious, high protein, no matter what. Eat smart at factormeals.com with the bonus code PHNX50 off. That's factormeal.com/PHNX50 off. And use that PHNX50 off to get 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for a year. They're just going to send you free breakfast for a year. That sounds pretty good to me. PHNX50 off at factormeals.com. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new customers with the bonus code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchases.
Driving in Phoenix can be unpredictable. From dust storms to bumper-to-bumper traffic, the last thing you want to worry about is your auto insurance. That's why so many Arizona drivers trust Access Insurance Agency of Arizona. For more than 15 years, Access Insurance Agency of Arizona has been proud to provide affordable auto insurance for drivers throughout the Phoenix metro area. Trusted part of the local community, Access Auto helps Arizona drivers get covered with flexible policy options and commitment to working with all types of IDs, driving histories, and license types. With bilingual Spanish-speaking agents at 9 convenient Valley locations, Access is ready to help customers find the right protection and uncover valuable discounts. Access Auto, trusted by the community, rooted in Phoenix, and ready to help. All statements are subject to terms, exclusions, and conditions are applicable policy. In all insurance, the current policy contract language prevails. Coverage is subject to individual policyholders meeting in the underwriting qualifications and state availability. Other terms, conditions, and exclusions may apply.
Hit that like button, Bo. I missed this update on Walter Nolen from one Nick Rallis, because we're all anxiously awaiting, and a player of his caliber got to be able to help in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, somebody that plays with the violence and speed, and the defensive line can play a couple different spots. But what does the DC see from Nolen as he's making his way back to the playing field?
I think the number one thing that he's shown is that he has been working really hard when he hasn't been able to be out there in practice, in terms of obviously physically getting back to the state he's in. He does not look like he's tired or out of shape out there, so he's been working. But also just the being able to go out there and execute our stuff has been impressive, because it's hard to be out for that long and execute from a mental perspective at a high level, just because even if you are working hard at it, there's something different to being out there. I always tell players, like, if I had to go out there, like, don't get me wrong, like, I know this stuff very well in the classroom. If I had to go out there and with live bullets, like, it's hard to do. So he's done a really good job with that. It just speaks to his work ethic and speaks to his intelligence.
Good to hear about the 16th overall pick. I mean, it's been such a delayed gratification, and this is setting him up to think that, hey, he can go out there and make an impact. Now, seeing reps in practice and then seeing reps in the Jerry Dome on Monday Night Football, potentially, it's very different things. But what we've seen from Walter Nolen at Ole Miss is he's a big playmaker in the interior of the defensive line.
They need him now and in the future. Darius Robinson, jury's still out, but that's just not trending in a great direction for him to be an impact player. We'll see. But I mean, Walter Nolen, we discussed it at draft season, like, caliber of a top 10 player in that draft. Look great in OTAs. Like, I think you have to see him make a splash play to have some hope that, okay, we at least got one of the two guys on track. I think the biggest issue with Darius right now is just you don't feel his presence during games yet. Mm-hmm. And you look at the box score, you may have a tackle, you may not. Like, we need to see Walter Nolen impact the game in a positive aspect on a weekly basis. A TFL here, a batted ball down, God forbid a sack, like disrupting, the timing of a pass, all that. Like, that's what great defensive linemen do, and the Cardinals just aren't getting enough of that. So, sure, they're going to slow play it in terms of his snaps, but I mean, if his conditioning is where it needs to be, and he looks good, he doesn't, like, when we saw him, when you've seen him, he doesn't look overweight, doesn't look heavy. Like, you need to expedite his acumen quick, fast, and in a hurry, because he's one of the players you need to be able to tell Michael Bidwell at the end of the year, like, look what we did with this player out of Ole Miss.
Yeah, this guy's on track. And if Darius never becomes, somebody that fills the stat sheet, Walter's going to have to be.
Right.
You can't have first-round picks, invested on guys who are just kind of glue guys that fill gaps and are, clean, doing the dirty work.
Right.
You need guys to go out there and make actual plays. Now, it isn't it's not over for Darius and D-Rob that he can't do that, but who's got more upside in most people's opinion? I think it's no doubt about it. Who is the bigger prospect coming out of college? And it's Walter Nolen. He's going to have to make some splash plays for this defense for their picks to turn out to be successful as a whole, not just individually.
More news out of Tempe, Bo. The Cardinals worked out a slew of players. Why they did, I think we're all kind of scratching our head, but walk us through this list that I'm just going to be honest, it's not very impressive. Again, no disrespect to these guys, but what's the mindset here?
With all due respect, you've got what? 3 wide receivers, 3 quarterbacks, and 2 tight ends. You're hurting that tight end. You've lost a couple. They're bringing back Oscar Cardenas, who's in training camp with the team, former Arizona State tight end Messiah Swinson. And then you've got the wide receivers, a familiar name, Brendan Rice, of course, the son of Jerry Rice.
Woo!
Started at USC. He was a 7th round pick that really kind of never did anything with the Chargers. But the 3 quarterbacks kind of stand out here, Johnny. Kyle Trask, who, he was in Tampa Bay for a while.
Yikes. Never
did anything. Logan Whiteside, quarterback out of Toledo, and then a familiar name who's been on the Cardinals before, last in 2020. Was he on the 2023 team?
I think so.
Yeah, Jeff Driscoll, who's primarily a practice squad player for the Cardinals. I think that they're preparing to release Keaton Slovis and then maybe pivot at the practice squad quarterback position, because it feels like Kyler Murray's probably trending towards getting a full, clean bill of health.
So you expect Slovis to be released. They sign a new quarterback, which that tracks. Position.
Unless these guys came out, they try it out. Doesn't mean that any of them were good.
True. Although I would take, it's a low bar. I would take Trask or Driscoll over Slovis. Just Driscoll, Kyle Trask started games in this league. No running back on that list.
Right.
Not as of the recording of the show. Have not seen any traction with that.
Right.
Is this just going to go the way of they're elevating Michael Carter on Monday Night Football, and then they're activating Trey Benson next week? Trey Benson needs at least another week. What are we doing here? Johnson has already been claimed and is working with the New England Patriots now. Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson was out of practice today. Bo, you and I chatted about that off air. It sounds like it was his toe, so he had a legitimate injury. Are they going to add a running back? What are they doing?
If they elevate Michael Carter, they still only have 3 running backs, and they use Amari Dermacado in special teams, which is a good chance you can get dinged up as he has. Dermacado is healthy. He missed the game. It just seems like that's far too small of a number organizationally to just have 2 on the active roster and 2 on the practice squad. It just seems inevitable that they're going to sign somebody. We mentioned it, if you sign a player to one of these quarterbacks to the practice squad, you're still going to have 3 active roster spots to fill.
Well, why would they cut Michael Carter, bring him back on the practice squad, only to bring him on the roster on game day? Why wouldn't you just keep him on the roster?
Maybe, I think at his number, they knew that nobody was going to pick him up, his salary, and that they could just do more roster gymnastics that way and have flexibility. This is all speculation. This is nothing I have sourced or have any inside information on.
This no disrespect.
No.
These kind of examples, I'm like, do we know what we're doing? Do they know what they're doing? The optics of this, for me, would suggest no, we do not know what we're doing. We're add a back, don't add a back.
It's probably, as far as the Michael Carter roster gymnastics, I think it's probably a savvy move because Michael Carter's been on the practice squad for 2 seasons. Nobody has sniffed Michael Carter. Nobody has signed him from the practice squad.
Around the Cardinals.
He's a Cardinal as long as the Cardinals want him. So, they can save an active roster spot by sliding him to the practice squad and elevating him on game day.
Cool. Awesome. Great job, guys. Overtime!
Womp, womp, womp. Such a Debbie Downer.
You want change?
Here's what I want you to do. Don't watch any more pressers, and don't follow the transaction wire any longer.
I'll
just tell you the information that I think might.
I'm going to come onto the show cold. I'm going to be like, what happened today? Genuinely tell me. Bo and I talked throughout the day. It would be impossible for me to ignore this team. God, as I try. Yeah, Give us some flipping juice, man. Ryan says I need a nap. You're probably right, but instead we're gonna go the opposite route, and we're just
what was that? Was that a gong?
Yes, it was.
Okay, nice touch.
I'm gonna tell you right now, things are only gonna get more negative. Let's pull up the 2024 NFL Draft Round 3 PHNX Cardinals. This was making its way on the Twitter streets over the weekend as I was enjoying no Cardinal football, ruining my day. And then I said, oh, what's this? Round 3 of the 2024 NFL Draft. The round that the Cardinals were supposed to dominate. The Cardinals had found a way to not have one, but not two, but 4 third-rounders. Yeah. At this point, they had already taken Darius and Marv. They traded down to get Max Melton so they could add pick 82. They didn't enter the weekend with pick 82.
Yeah.
Pick 90, I believe, was a added pick the prior year to trade down. And then, of course, pick 71, I believe, was the pick from Detroit. So all that to say, Cardinals did their homework and they said, we're going to dominate round 3, Bo. And I'll give them a pass and say, not a great round, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That being said, how many of these players are hits a year later?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Malachi Corley at the top right before Trey Benson was released. Yeah, he was gone. I'm trying to see. Cooper Beebe's good, right?
He's very good. Not a great round. I mean, like,
I'm not seeing anybody. Like Puny has been decent for San Francisco.
McMillan's been bad. Blake Corum's unplayable. Roman Wilson, I thought would be good. He's been bad.
Yeah, there haven't been really any hits. Like Luke McCaffrey is looking like one of the better selections. Who is the final pick?
Jonah Ellis for what's he done for the Broncos?
Not a whole lot. They got some studs up, ahead of him on the depth chart at the pass rush spot for the Broncos.
It's an all-time bad third round. So, we talked about this draft going into it. It was like they told us it's like the deepest draft in 10 years, 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, great year to hoard picks. Just shows you, like, people don't know. You never know. Like, I didn't love these selections when they made them. We talked about it. Like, the Tip Ryman pick is always going to be kind of a stick in my craw because I didn't see the value, and now, like, very good chance that, like, the guy who pushed to draft him for his offense will not be here. It's just like, what's that pick look like long term? You've benched Isaiah Adams. His development has gone off the rails because Clayton Adams left.
It's been stunted, yeah.
So he's not starting for you. Trey Benson, is he just a guy? Couldn't take the baton from James Conner on the shelf. He'll have a chance at the end of this year to start for you. And then Elijah Jones is a complete non-factor, can't even be active. So, I mean, yeah, it's tough, man. That's why, like, if you're Drew Petzing coming from Monty Austinford, like, that has to work.
Yeah.
When your other rounds are looking like this from that draft, can't be just saying, like, yeah, we'll get Marv 4 targets. It's like, no, guys, we're not good enough to do that because we went 0 for potentially, and we had 4 third-round picks. I mean, like, what a third-round pick can get you, like, trading for a veteran? It help you a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough out on those third-round streets in 2024. I was looking at the 4th round. Seems like there's just as many viable NFL players in the 4th round, day 3, than there were to finish up day 2. I mean, Rabbit's included in that. Troy Franklin, who's having a great second season. Theo Johnson, who's been a kind of a safety valve for Jackson Dart. Some good players.
And listen, I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite. Like, I liked that draft when it happened, like, from a 5,000-foot view. I liked Marv, loved Darius, liked the Max Melton pick. You and I go watch the tape. Like, we didn't love that third round. Mm-hmm. And I thought Austinford did a nice job course correcting this past year. What did he do? He said, I'm going to go premium position, premium position, premium position.
Mm-hmm.
And then we really like the Cody Simon pick. Now that hasn't translated yet, but like I thought Denzel Burke, great value for where you got him. Like,
yeah,
that the third round of last year kind of feels like an outlier for Austin Ford, because usually it's like top 100 picks are reserved for defensive and offensive line, skill players that can help you score touchdowns, wide receivers specifically, and corners. And he took a guard, which I don't hate if it works out, a very limited blocking tight end, a running back who couldn't beat out James Conner, and then he did take a corner, but that corner has not worked out. So
right, even amongst all the injuries, hasn't been able to make his way onto the playing field. Yeah, it's an incomplete with a really good chance of getting a low to failing grade.
And what it does is, like, Kime was able to skate by with so many poor drafts because his free agent hits and Bruce Arians, right? You remember that, where it's like, don't look at the 2013 draft. We're winning 10 games. Everything's
right.
fine. And that's what made him a made man with Michael Bidwell. Monty's going to have to answer, like, hey, you're not winning games and your draft picks aren't playing. Like, if Jonathan Gannon gets fired, like, does Monty get to hire another coach? Does the other coach have to make it work with these players? Like that? That's when it gets really messy. And they're going to have to really look at this and say, like, it was the offensive play caller, it was the scheme, it was mistakes on my part. He's going to have to own some of this, but I won't like come out and say, I think his drafts for the most part have been good. I've liked the players he's selected. But the 2024 draft was kind of, you're pushing your chips in the middle of the table of like, this is what this franchise is going to be based on. And it's been disappointing. Whereas, like, I think 2025 has a much higher ceiling right now than last year's draft class, which is nuts to say.
It's tough with the first round picks, two of them being on the shelf for as long as they've been. Marv is the big issue as far as, is there coaching issue where they haven't deployed him the right way, and that's impacting how you view that draft class. Because if you hit on Marv and maybe like Max Melton, like we're really not nitpicking this draft. We're saying, hey, you were able to find some premium players at premium position, but now you can't even like definitively say that. So it does put you in a tough spot. And it's like, we really like these players. We like their skill sets. What's not translating to them making an impact? It makes you question everything. Like everything that you just you saw the video from his first draft with Paris Johnson Jr. He trades down, gets the haul, trades back up. He's just an absolute monster on the phone. Seems like he's just
nails that pick, by the way.
He looks like an absolute killer in the war room.
Yeah.
And then it proceeds to have a really strong 2023 draft. Those guys have good rookie seasons and second seasons, where this 2024 draft, they just haven't been consistently good for any stretch of time. So they have that's going to be important the rest of the way here, to not just save face for the general manager, but for the players in that class.
You're right. Like they need to be able to hang their hat on something. And right now there's just too many holes with this team. We're getting your super chats now. Appreciate it. Everybody hit that like button, subscribe. Kicking things off with Jack 199. Bo Petzing, start learning that McDonald's menu, buddy.
He thinks Drew is going to be finding new employment, huh? Okay. Thank you, Jack, for 199 super chat. Let's move to Chaz 199. Man, this show is my cardinalitis therapy.
I promise.
We'll pronounce that right?
Yeah, Cardinals therapy. I'll be positive again, Chaz. A day will come.
I don't believe you.
I'm really down on this team right now.
You are.
They make me sad. Sad birds.
I'm going to call you after the show and just do like a true wellness check. Like, hey, bud, doing all right?
Let's get bad vibes with this team. Reezy Baby, $5. I love this company, though. I love this show. $5. Sorry, I needed the bye week last week, too. I'm back and ready to be heard again.
That's what I'm talking about, Reezy Baby. See, that's the mentality.
Here's what I'm not going to do, though. If Kyler Murray, I see people on Twitter doing this. If Kyler Murray plays well, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like I'm ready to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there and perform.
Yeah.
Even if you beat a middling Dallas team, like give you your flowers. can't spin 6 straight losses other than anything but awful.
You go on one good rebound date, you're proposing the next one. That's right.
There's sparks.
It's true love. It's true love.
When you know, you know. Getting a training order.
Jonathan Castro, $4.99. Great to see Reezy Baby back. We missed you. Defense is getting healthy. Kyler's back. Let's go on a freaking crazy run and make the playoffs. There are subtle signs that this team could be better than their record, but there's nobody brave enough to wrap their arms around that. But I'm saying there are subtle little signs as far as point differential, the way they've played tight with some decent teams. It's just nothing that anybody is willing to go on record and saying, I think that they can win a couple of games because of the inconsistencies.
If you're going to be bad, be bad. And there's nothing worse than a team that's bad that's telling you, hey, we're actually good. It's like, no, you're not. You're bad. Reezy Baby, $5. My hot take watching NFL this year. Quarterbacks 5 through 50 aren't that different, but a top 5 O-line versus a top 15 is vast. Invest in the trenches. I would also double down on that and say that coaching is so important. Cardinals have the same offensive line as last year. It's healthier, and they are way worse up front because they lost a great offensive line coach, and nobody knows what to do. People are they're out there flailing around and thinking it's fine to play iso ball with the best pass rusher in the NFL who undressed them in their building.
Yeah.
But coaching matters. You got a coach in this division winning with Mac Jones, and another one that Sean McVay's got one losing season in 10 years. It's a coaching league, and you got to have the players.
Right. How about easy money Chubs? Petzing is as useful as dog poop flavored candy.
Some of my favorite. That's something like Noah would write. Thank you, Easy Money. Listen, hey, I think the best thing for Drew is to try to win a game Monday night. Come on, Drew. Let's see something. If you're not auditioning for this fan base, you're auditioning for your next job. Let's put some touchdown drives together. Alphonse, don't get out coached by Matt Eberflus, or then you're dead to me. $4.99. It's a sin MHJ doesn't have a minimum 10 to 15 target game. 100%. I think it's in his career. Yeah. Most teams will pepper a guy like MHJ. Add in Drew Petzing also made Kyler Murray a game manager. He's got to go. I think, I thought about this over the bye week. I don't want to go down too big of a rabbit hole. The free agent quarterback market is bad. We're going to see how many guys declare for college football. Even if this team flails around and, wins 5 or 6 games, is Kyler Murray back? You can't just have no quarterback next year.
Right. You also, what are you going to sell people on? Arizona Cardinals chokes, $4.99. Hopefully we can get a win, but it's not. It's time to, if not, it's time to fire Gannon and tank for Fernando Mendoza.
I don't want to come on here and advocate for losing games. If they lose to the Cowboys, and if it's not a competitive game, I mean, yeah, the best interest for this team is to lose out and to get a top quarterback and to have a restart. Very similar to what happened with Houston when they got CJ Stroud and D'Amico and they made the playoffs next year. I think the Cardinals, with the right combination of coach, GM, and quarterback, would be a playoff team next year. Mm-hmm. It's not like 2023 where you had to burn it down, but I don't know if they lose to the Cowboys and then Gannon goes and loses again for the 3rd straight year to be swept by the Seahawks. It will be officially, unofficially over for this fan base. It'll be over Monday, depending on how it looks. But another Seattle loss, people will just be like, "Hey, I've had enough. I've had enough."
Chaz bringing celebrity here, $1.99. Ran into Billy Price at the KFC drive-thru. No chicken. Did he snap the original over your car and into the parking lot?
So many ex-Cardinal O-linemen just want to beat our ass. I've told you the stories about, AQ Shipley and I getting into it in our DMs. Maybe it was his wife. I can't remember. Billy Price confronting Bo in the locker room. Who's that going to be next? Jonah Williams feels like he's next on that track.
Yeah, he seems like he's online. Maybe he is online, right? He's out there.
He's blocking people.
He's blocking people. He's blocking people on Twitter.
After
he's blocking people there. Let's keep it going.
We need to clip that, Noah.
With the super chat. How about Sam went digital, $4.99. Congratulations on the digital. Honestly, feels like no matter who is quarterback, it doesn't matter with how bad the offensive line is.
But like we've seen these offensive linemen do well, play well. What do you think the chances are if Gannon gets to stay? They obviously fired Drew. Could you get Clayton to leave Dallas to come back here to be like the main offensive coordinator? Could you get him to leave Dallas?
I don't know. I don't, because that just seems like it's
a lateral move.
Lateral move, exactly. It's I know that Schottenheimer's got the primary play calling, but it seems like Clayton Adams feels like he's a vital piece of what they do offensively. He's the OC for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, let's not buy, like, I don't think anybody's naive to like where Dallas stands, even though they're a punching bag a lot.
Right.
Versus the Arizona Cardinals in the NFL landscape. It'd be tough. It'd be a tough sell.
Would you, if they fire Gannon and let's say Monty's here, would you interview Clayton Adams for the head coaching job?
I'd interview him, but I mean, what Clayton Adams, like, what he brings, obviously, to the offensive line, which is great. What he brings to the run game, which is vital. But like, what's your personnel tell you? What do you need?
Also, like, could he put a staff together? Like, that was the biggest thing, like, got us fired up with Gannon. A couple different things. Like, you knew he was going to be able to put together a real staff and he courted Nick Rallis here. And it's like, when you're hiring, like, a Clayton Adams, like, that's why Clayton Adams, that was such a coup to get him and find him. That's what great head coaches do.
There's a lot of unknowns. There's like people's points in the chat. Most of the people kind of and Mike McCarthy. I mean, there's a ton of unknowns with Clayton Adams. Like, he's been on a great, his trajectory is right where it needs to be. I'm sure he's going to get interviews and he might even get hired, but the team that does, they're going to have to figure out, on the fly what he's all about as a head coach.
I don't want to put you on the spot here at the end of the show. When will you start to kind of put your antenna up to coaching candidates? What would it take for that to happen in season? Or are you very much of the mindset that you need to wait to see how things play out after 17 games?
I think you need to see how the locker room would respond after another loss, a 6th straight loss. Like 5 straight, like, seems like everybody's still in and putting in the work and the messaging isn't falling on deaf ears. Like, if the locker room starts to turn, it's nearly impossible to get it back. So, like, we saw that with Cliff. And we get criticized. People say, like, we turned on Cliff quicker than we did on JG. That's not true. Like, I think with Cliff, there were some big-time red flags early on. But then once you saw that, like, the team was on Hard Knocks, like in-season Hard Knocks. So we were seeing it, like, not once, twice, but like 3 times. Like, and it was pounded home that Cliff had lost the locker room. And, like, if JG starts to lose the locker room, which he hasn't yet, I think that's when we'll start to really kind of look towards the future of the head coaching position.
It's fair. I mean, we had a source like Kyler and Cliff weren't like speaking to each other.
Right.
That was pretty obvious at that point. And then we were off Cliff in part because of, like, there was no leadership. That players were getting arrested. The GM was in and out of the building. The Mexico City incident, like, Gannon's not having those kind of issues, save for the DeMercado thing. We're just kind of in uncharted waters where it's just like there's just so much losing in a year where there was supposed to be. I mean, I think at worst we all thought injuries and stuff, like maybe they're 500, around 500 all year. Like, to have a crooked number in your loss column, people don't care how it got there. All they care about is what comes next. So
right.
We got a big show the rest of this week. And then, of course, our game preview on Friday. Bo is heading out to Dallas on Sunday with our friends at Bird Gang Travel. And then a reminder, because people are asking, the watch along during the game will be back for Monday Night Football. So if you've enjoyed those, I'll be in studio with Britton Golden, Noah, hoping to have Espo and Damon, Shane Diefenbach join us as well as so we watch this game. What is feels like a very pivotal game for the future and the history of this franchise.
Yeah, I'll be out there tomorrow. So with Noah, you're from Kyler Murray right now, scheduled to meet with the media tomorrow. After practice, we'll hear from JG, get some updates, and then we'll see what the deal is with potential roster moves, those active roster spots that remain unfilled. If they sign, the many players that they tried out today. Darth Vader jumping in with a last-second super chat. Would you bring back Sean Kugler, who was unceremoniously fired after that infamous Mexico City trip? I don't think so.
He was last coaching, I think, in the UFL. And I feel bad for him because he was part of a playoff team. But, yeah, that whole situation in Mexico City, for all involved, disappointing.
Yeah.
It's like a reminder. It's like
for all involved, they seem like nobody's in the NFL is going to exonerate it or whatever's alleged, if whatever's been, proven correct or incorrect. I don't think anybody has the appetite to mess around with anybody involved in that.
Here's what we will do. We're going to keep you up to date on everything Arizona Cardinals. And if the time comes, start talking about quarterback coaching candidates. We got old templates we will dust off here on this bad boy. But in the meantime, like this video, subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. We're back. Special showtime tomorrow, a little bit earlier, 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. Special Thursday show. We're typically off Thursday. We're doing a Thursday show live tomorrow. And again, Kyler Murray, Bo, presumably back. We'll hear from the franchise quarterback, Mignon, as you mentioned.
Can't wait. Make sure you're locked in. You're subscribed. You got those alerts set up for when we go live here on PHNX Cardinals. In the meantime, have a good rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here, PHNX Cards.
We all silly like the mayor.